Hey, Giants, welcome back to another great episode of Wake Up with Giants TV. Have you ever wondered the real reason why you haven't found true love yet? Hang tight because we're going to have an excellent episode for you. Hey, Giants, welcome back to another great episode of Wake Up with Giants TV. I'm Nick Smith, and I'm here with my co-host on one side of me, Andy Bangeter. We've got a great show for you today. A little bit of housekeeping. We'll get that going here in just a minute. I'm going to pull this up real quick. I just finished out an amazing tool for you. So if you go to my12journeys.com and you click on this little button right here, it's going to take you to a little form that you fill out and you'll get this amazing little guidebook. It's called the I Am Framework. It's tied to our second and third, actually fourth journeys of the 12 journeys. So it teaches you how to regulate your emotions. It's about 25 pages, absolutely free. All you have to do is put in your name and email address. I know that's an expensive tool, but that is what we're giving you today. It's a beautiful reminder of how powerful you are and how to navigate the most difficult emotions. I think if you're like me, you have heavy emotions. You get anxiety, anger, depression, insecurity, all those things, they all come up. This tool is going to teach you how to navigate those. I had a dream about this the other night, and now it's a reality. So it went from ethereal to material pretty dang quick. And so hope you guys enjoyed that. We do have an upcoming Sum Gigante group that's going to start in June 14th. So if you want details on that, go to my12journeys.com and you can click on the details on the Sum Gigante programs. That means I am giant in Latin. Outside of that, we're just continuing to host amazing shows. We've alternated our schedule now to pay attention to the relationship journeys and the growth journeys of the My 12 Journeys. So the relationship series isn't part of the 12 journeys, but the 12 journeys are absolutely a part of relationship. And so that's why we're doing this. And Fari has been a guest on our show before, and we're excited to have another view of her philosophy. So Fari, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you if that works. You ready?
Absolutely.
So Giants, welcome back to another great episode. Have you ever felt like your past was holding you back from the life and love you deserve? Well, you're not alone. And today's guest is living proof that healing is possible. Fari Gonzaque is a coach and personal trainer who spent over 32 years helping some of LA's most successful residents transform their lives inside out. Her own story of resilience from fleeing emotional abuse in Iran to finding true love after years of inner work is beyond inspiring. And what's even more amazing is Fari discovered the key to lasting love and vitality was within herself all along. And now she's here to help you find yours too. So please help me welcome the incredible, the unstoppable Fari Gonzaque. It's good to have you here.
Wow, sounds great. Who's that?
Do you know her?
I'm trying to figure her out. That's lovely. Thank you. What a beautiful introduction.
You're very welcome.
Thank
We're
you for
glad to
having
have
me
you.
here.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
Lovely.
You know, and we're going to take a little different angle here, and specifically on relationship. You know, with the 12 journeys, we have three primary areas that we focus on: the root, which is the inner work, the shoot, which is the outer growth and stability, and then the fruit, which is the purpose and legacy that we want to live. And so I want to start more of the inner world with you let's go all the way back to your early relationships and look at who you were or who you thought you were in relationship and how that played into your outer world. Can you start us there? And then we'll go on whatever direction comes up.
Yeah, we can start, and it's not a very pretty look when you look back, and it's so much. All it comes to me is a lot of anger, frustration, animosity, unbelievable amount of judgment, and because the ego was on a driving seat. So I was going with it all beautifully. I had great rides on it,
Mm.
being frustrated, angry, um, judgmental was sky high. And it wasn't pretty for the longest time. And the good thing was that I've always been into fitness. God bless my father's genes that I got that from him. So I always used the fitness as drug of choice, if you know what I mean. I was never became alcoholic or drug addict. I became workaholic into the fitness so much that just like an alcoholic, they tear their liver and kidneys apart. I tore my joints and bones apart. I really
Wow.
did, So I abused fitness in many ways to
Mm.
deal with who I was then. So, did I answer your question?
It does, and I think we can go even further back on that. Is where did that come from? How did you adapt and adopt that as a way of being? And then we'll kind of go through the steps of awakening to that and how you
Yeah.
navigated the emotions of that. Yeah.
Mhm. It comes from your upbringing, from your childhood, Or I was raised amongst the parents that they really didn't have any connection with each other, but they were keep on making babies. That's all they used to do. So, and it's not a cultural thing; it's the world thing. I've seen it all over the world. It's
Mm.
not because I was Iranian they were doing it. I've lived in the West most of my life. I was 20 when I left Iran, and I'm now 68. So I know more about the outside of Iran than I know about Iran. And also, by the way, I was just going to say, you said I was raised in Iran. I was going to say it's called Iran. It's not Iran. It's like that's one thing I have to do with my American friends. It's Iran, people. It's not Iran.
I will correct that moving forward.
but it's yeah. So the upbringing, you were raised amongst a lot of rage, frustration,
Mm.
fight, arguments, and everything you want, you're being told no, you can't have it. And when you get rejected, um, you also use. That's all I know. I was introduced to how to become angry, how to be
Mm.
Isn't it there in Iran a different mentality towards women?
today.
Yeah, like
No,
no, it's
sweetheart,
not.
I know in Iran today it's dreadful, but I've not been back to the country for the last 40 years, 42, 3 years. So I don't know.
Mm,
What I do hear, yes, today in Iran, women don't mean anything.
yeah,
But I wasn't raised then. When
that's
I,
good. So
when
it's really changed
oh,
a ton.
there are no words to explain how much it has changed. When I was raised in Iran was exactly, and I am telling you exactly what you can do today in here in America as an Iranian woman or as a woman. We
Uh-huh.
did that in Iran. We had a minister of education was an Iranian lady. uh,
Oh,
People were free. My mother used to drive. Everybody did exactly what they wanted to do. The biggest parties were in my parents' house. Um, the best vodka was being made in my father's backyard. I mean, we were free to be exactly what we wanted to be. So the Iranian culture has changed immensely. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I
So that
don't know.
had a lot of influence. I mean, that upbringing kind of set the tone for your relationships thereafter. How
Yeah.
did you wake up to that? How did you start realizing that was going on?
The toxicity of we always focus on negativity, right? So I had a father who was much older than my mother, and by the
Uh-huh.
way, that was not again the culture. It was just that one off that happened with my parents. And uh, I had no relationship. None of the kids had relationship with my father. He was very super powerful, super smart, super educated. My father spoke 7 languages,
Holy
and
cow.
but he didn't know how to be a father.
Hmm.
You know, he was a great provider, but and I always talked so bad about him that I forgot how much goodness was with him. But that negativity of me with my father, and it just was with my a couple of my brothers too, and the day I thought, and I say that with a smile today because I'm an achiever and I always see the best in the worst, but it wasn't like this before. I never saw it. And I think I was 16 or 17 years old. One day, my father beat the crap out of me and he slapped me so hard because when he came home and he said, he must have said something and I didn't know what he said or I didn't want to do it. And I was a very fat kid because I couldn't um, go and do workout. I mean, they would let us to have it. They had a massive house with a humongous swimming pool in it. So it was like workout in the house, go hiking. But I wanted to play tennis and they wouldn't let me. I wanted to do certain things and they wouldn't let me. And good old days, there were no gyms anywhere across the world. And the gyms started after I came to many years after in England. So it was a no to everything that I wanted to do. So I started eating my emotions.
No.
And that day I was extremely heavy. As I said, 16 or 17, I must have weighed over 200 pounds. And
Wow.
the way he started slapping me and left and right, and my father was an athlete of his own time.
Holy
So,
cow.
yeah, when he hit me, I
Yeah.
said, I am leaving. And that's when I thought it's my awakening time was at that time that I have to get to be 21 years old. So I don't need their permission to get my passport issued and I would leave. So I had everything filled up at the age of 20. And the minute the clock ticked and I'm 21, I applied and I got the passport and
Holy cow.
ran away.
Was it was that influential in all relationships? So every time you got in a relationship, whether you were conscious of it or not, did that come up and affect the relationship?
100%
Yeah.
in every breath you take.
And and how did you navigate that? So I would imagine that the emotions were intense. I would imagine that the thinking
Yes.
was intense, that the closeness of it meant it felt very real to you.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, how did you navigate that? How did you learn to overcome that?
Um, I never wanted to be religious, and my family was not a religious Muslim background. And like the whole America, do they all go to church every day, every weekend? No,
Yeah.
So that was the story of the Iranians. We were called Muslim based, but we were not at all religious. I think, if I'm right, maybe once or twice I ever went to the mosque in 20 years living in Iran just to make a monkey out of others and laugh, not to go and
Worship.
and worship at all. No, but I was always, without me knowing, I was always deeply into spirituality. And I knew there's something out there that I cannot name it, I cannot put a finger on it, but I knew it was well outside of so called religion.
Mm,
And it was my connection that I made this divine connection at the peak of my fight and anger and tantrum, which I always have loved to call it God. And I had the deepest relationship with God
mm,
always as a kid. And I remember that apparently I had an auntie who was sick, and then we went to visit her, and I probably put some candles on and with flowers around it, and I went and put it by her bed. And she's turned around to my mother, and I must have been 7 years old, 7 or 8. And then she turned to my mom, and then goes, "This one is not from you guys. This one is from heaven," pointing out
mm,
to me, calling me this one. This one is
Wow.
from heaven. And then later on, at that time, you guys are probably too young to know, but there was this very famous, I think she was a nurse, it's called Florence Nightingale.
Hmm.
And they used to call me that because I used to always, to this day, to the last breath, I always love to help and serve. So that was my connection at the peak of my anger that always led me the way through the anger and frustration and animosity.
You have the best accent, by the
I
way.
know, it's beautiful.
Right? It's very like regal. And, yeah.
Thank God that I went to England and I had to learn English in England.
Yeah, it's different, huh?
So it's mishmash of Farsi in English, my accent. So
yeah. It's I was doing calls in the US here, a couple months ago, and I had a hard time understanding people that are English speaking English, but it's like, holy crap, I got to learn my own language. As I look at, I'm going kind of through a framework here. If you look at the flow, is non-consciously we have history. And you have your family, and everybody that's watching this has their own version of that, especially when it comes to relationships. So, and we have that for different areas of our lives. But when it comes to relationships, when we look at what's really getting in the way of finding true love, a lot of it is our own work that we haven't done yet. And so when we recognize that we all have some kind of history, and whether that's from development in childhood or past relationships, that history is there and it's influential. And then when you wake up to it, it doesn't mean the job's done. It's just you're aware of it now. And that sometimes gets really hard because now you know it and you're still doing it. And I think people get really frustrated. And so they don't know what to do. So they numb out. So they find addictions, or they find ways to avoid it or distract so that they don't have to face it. And relationships really hold up a mirror to what's going on in you. And it really has nothing to do with the other person. It's what's going on in you. And unless you face that, there's nothing they can do over there that would be enough to offset what's going on in you. Does that make sense? Or
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. It's our own creation.
Yeah.
It's our own creation of it was Fari's choice to want to stick to all the negativity that I could only see from my father. And it was many, many years later that I thought I was actually swimming in the pool in the building where I lived. And I swam, and then I came out of the pool and I had my mat down and I was doing yoga, practicing yoga. Then I jumped in the pool and I swam quite a few laps. And then again, I did yoga, and I did that quite a bit. And then this guy was lying down sunbathing. So when I came out, he looked at me and then he goes, "Which one are you?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Which one of them is in you?" That's why he said, "Which one of them is in you?" And I said, "What are you talking about? I've never met him before." And then he goes, "Is that your mom in you, or is that your dad in you?
Holy cow.
Which gene do you have? I've been watching you and I'm tired," he says, "because it's over an hour. You've not stopped, And I thought, oh, I have chosen to forget all the goodness I've inherited from my father. And I've been busy catering how terrible he's been."
Wow.
That day was Father's Day. And obviously, in America, my dad died in 2000, by the way, at the age of 105.
Wow.
And 2000 or 2005 or 2001 or 2001 of the two. And it dawned on me that, oh my gosh, look at how much gift has been within me, and I've not been nourishing it by not acknowledging it. I am busy being frustrated, a dad that beat me up, and today I look at the way he beat me up as a gift.
Wow.
And I'm looking at it today, and then when I teach and preach and coach everywhere, I say, I just finished in London. I was telling Nicholas, I said, I just finished with Ankush Jain, the AJC school, which was brilliant. But I took to everyone a piece of diamond, sadly not real, but it was just false diamond. I took 55 pieces of it and I gave everybody. And they said, "What is that?" I said, "I want you to know everything. And these were like renowned coaches, 50 of them in there. And I said, every trouble you've had in life, every past trauma that you look at it as a past trauma, there's this diamond in it. Look for it and find the diamond and find your gift and start praising your past no matter what.
Wow.
They kept it. And I've been actually coaching the coaches now. And they just said, but why did you give me that? I said, okay, based on the subject that I'm talking to them that day, I said, do you see the gift? And they all say yes.
Yeah. Wow.
That was my gift, to see how much my father gave me his fabulous genes into fitness, so then I don't become drug addict and alcoholic. So having said that, it doesn't mean I don't drink. I love tequila a couple of times a week, no lie.
Yeah.
It never controls me. I control it. One glass is plenty.
Yeah.
Second one, but it was choosing my father's gift and looking at it as a gift.
Yeah.
So then I can heal me.
Well, I think it also, like that, him instilling that in you also, even though you felt it was heavy and it was hard growing up with him, that also instilled like just self-discipline in you and gave you a way to also deal with the stress, because exercise is very therapeutic in dealing with it.
But yes, exercise is therapeutic, but one of the things that I learned later in life, why do we enjoy exercising? Because exercise also, if you have not heard of this darling Dr. Stacy Sims, SIM is her last name. She's all over Mel Robbins and all everywhere with Andrew. What is his name? Don't get old. All these guys that he's on the Facebook with
Huberman.
yes, under Huberman, yeah. And she's saying when we exercise, it stresses our body. When you go through stress and you exercise, it meets the same level and it makes you feel better with who you are and where you are, with your nerves, with your heart and soul. And if you Google her and let her give you a better explanation, then you know, why do I get addicted to my workout? Why do I use workout as a tool for me to say, thank you, God. Thank you for the misery that I've gone through and I am still going through. And it will always be a difficulty in life. But that continues the same. You never shower once. You don't eat once. You don't sleep only one night. You do that regularly. It's the same aspect of fitness.
If they're not showering more than once, that might be part of the reason why they haven't found true love. Right?
Well, it's the unawareness.
Yeah.
Is that self-unawareness that we're busy to look for something out there that person needs to say and do in order for me to feel better.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen, ever.
Yeah. Let's hang here for a minute.
Is coming from us to us, within us. It's our belief.
That is the true power right there. Because when you realize that other person can never do that for you. And no matter. So, I mean, that becomes the moving goalpost. I need you to do this. Please don't do that. And then they do that and it's still not enough. Now I need you to do this. And now I need you to do this. It's never about the other person. It's about who we are. And when you take ownership of that and pull it back, then you start to heal your own parts in relation to another person, right?
Yes. And when we say we need you to do this, I need you to do that. If you take the need out and replace it with I want, it's a lot more power in it. When it comes from a place of need, it's I'm sitting here, I'm doing nothing, but you have to do the work for you, for me, in order to feel better.
Yeah.
And when I say I want to achieve this. Or when you say, I want you to do that, that want empowers the individual to actually take action themselves too. When you sit here, I'm crossing my arms and I'm sitting here, I need you to do this. I'm ordering you to do the work for me. It's not going to happen. It's all internal. It's all coming to ourselves through the love. You're looking out there. I wanted my father to love me. I wanted my father to respect me. I wanted my father to help us all to have more love with ourselves. But since I didn't get that from my father, that want became my own homework. So I now need to create this in me so that need turns into a want. I want to be the love for the world. I want to give the love to the world that I never received. Because if I give the world the anger that I got from my father, how is that going to help my relationship with my husband? How am I? Oh, there is my husband online.
Does he have a cigar?
This is my
I
hubby.
like him already.
Yeah.
He's got a cigar in his picture.
Yeah.
That's my kind of guy.
Yeah. I am by far the luckiest woman on a planet Earth.
Beautiful.
And I always tell my husband, he needs to give a class for all men that they see their partners unhappy. Yeah. This guy is brilliant. He's been my best teacher.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. So, Andy, do you have thoughts or questions around that so far?
So, how many times have you been married?
Twice. This is my second one. Huh?
And you feel like with the first one, it was you go into it kind of carrying that baggage, that little knapsack and of anger and expectations and just the whole gamut, and you throw the knapsack on that person, and instead of you're wanting everything from them, everything that you're lacking, and it's like you want them to fix you or give you everything and make you happy essentially. And of course you obviously realize that didn't work out for you.
Obviously. I must say, my first husband, I got married in England, and he was also an Iranian dude. He was a CPA. Of course, he's still alive, and he is a lovely guy. There was no fault at him for me to want to divorce him. I was incomplete with me. The man, God bless him, I always send him love. I do not dare to say a word against him because he was a great guy.
That's beautiful.
It was your expectations and what you wanted that you're expecting from him, and it wasn't going to be enough for you.
I was looking for my father's love in him. And he was lacking love from his own mother.
Oh.
So two incomplete people. But he is a darling soul, and I only pray for the best for him always.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful because you step away from there, and you probably had some reflection and thought, where did I go wrong with it?
I was the problem, without a doubt. And it's not that I'm putting me down. I am lifting me up by saying the truth.
I agree.
That's all that there was. If I had the knowledge that I have today, if I'd done the work that I've done in zillions of years of working with the greatest around us, Wayne Dyer, Maya Angelou, Byron Katie. I mean, I am non-affiliated Byron Katie's certified, and I have done many, many, many. I'm blessed to be very well trained by Katie, and the pleasure of last August that I had with her. And you always go in the room that there are like 700 people are sitting there. I go to the room that I got invited, and then there are less than 40 people, and I said, "What's going on?" It was like it was a handpick, and it's a blessing to be in that room with her. And then again quickly in September, and it's lovely to see that the work in me not only continues, it would never be complete, The more you work, the more you see there's more to do.
It's true, huh?
And
Yeah.
the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know.
Mm. Is there room? Okay, so in the work, that really is the answer. In the work, is there room? And I think this is permission for all of us. Is there room for your old patterns, thoughts, emotions to come up?
Every single minute. Yes, every single minute. Because every minute we have this, as what Katie calls it, the belief that we follow that belief for that instant. That if you're aware and then you just question yourself, is it true? And if you say yes, then you have to see, where do you feel it in you? It happened to me yesterday morning, as fresh as that. And it's like, I'm going to use the name of God, but I just want to say the universe tests us.
Yeah.
When you feel you're at the peak of your game, I've got it all right now. I've gotten it. Nobody else can get me triggered. And the universe said, oh, really?
What?
You chose an Andy in your life.
Hold my beer.
Yeah.
Check this, try this out.
Literally, I was at the this was at this big meeting that we was 400 and I don't know how many. I think it was 470 of us. March of 23. It was the very first one, big one Katie had in LAX. This big after the pandemic. And when I got up and I said, listen, I'm coming from Iran, and it eats a hell out of me when I see in Iran they're getting the gay and the lesbian. I'm not gay at all. As I said, I love my husband, but I love and adore every person on this planet Earth. Especially if they're called gay and lesbian. These are my kids. These are my sisters and brothers. These are my babies. Why would you torment them? Why do you, if they found them in Iran, they would bury them apparently to, I think, to their neck into the ground, and then they stone them to death. What? And I was so frustrated. So I was crying and saying that to Katie, and I said, why? Why a person who is gay or lesbian should be stoned to death? Why? And I'm just thinking, oh, I got Katie. She can't answer that in my head. And I'm just thinking, and she said, Fari, because they follow their belief. They are a believer being that. And they follow through, even if it costs their lives. And I thought, oh, that's what I did. I believed that I am from a very bad household, terrible father, terrible this and that. And I tormented myself all those times until I learned and I shifted. And being a believer, there's a price for it that we pay. And how do we adjust ourselves to that? How do we follow or not? And when you become a believer in whatever it may be, if a person is into drugs, is into their smoking because they're lacking love, they have to really have that question mark for them. Say, is it true that the alcohol is soothing my emptiness? Is it true that the other one, and how long is it lasting? How much is doing this service to my being, not just to my body, to my heart and soul? And that's why I've been able to help the drug and addiction in this many years through the fitness and, of course, the coaching.
I want to hang just a little longer here in this part, because this is all root work to me. This is the inner world. And until people heal that, they're going to continue to attract, I think, what they need in order to heal that. But if they keep avoiding it, that lesson just keeps showing up again and again until they're ready.
Mhm.
And so they think, oh, if I have another relationship, it's going to get better. It's going to get, it's going to be greener over there. And what I'm seeing in my own world, in my own healing, is that the perfect person to help you heal is going to show up. And it's up to you to do your work. Andy and I are a little different. There's things that come up in me in relation to Andy.
Mhm.
And I have a choice to stay and do my work or to run away. Right. And sitting here doing my work in relationship with Andy, it's like, holy crap. Life was pretty easy before
Mhm.
Andy came along, and it's easy now. She's not hard, but holy crap, does stuff come up for me. And what I've been working on and practicing is not making it hers, but to own it here and do my work here and heal here so I can show up more powerfully for her so that she can be who she wants to be in her world. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Oh my goodness. I just saw my fabulous, darling mentor, Steve Hardison, showed up. What a joy to
Yeah.
see Steve here. Um, we never, ever can fix anyone but ourselves.
Mm.
Ever. I had a marriage and I had zillions of men after that in my life. Because my thing was that I went through a tough thing and I don't want to have a child in this world. And I chose not to have a child. And I am very proud of my decision early in life to this day. There is no remorse at all about that.
Mm.
But if I had the knowledge that I have today, perhaps when I could have a kid, I'd be looking at this story in a different way.
Yeah.
I was with all of these guys, having a job that I had in the heart of Los Angeles and looking as good looking that I was then. I just thought, you know what? I use all these men, your nose is running, you use a tissue, you throw it away, another tissue. That's how I did with men for years. I abused men because I was incomplete with myself and I was looking for my healing through all of those guys.
Wow.
And no one ever could help me because I wasn't available to help myself.
Mm-hmm.
No one could cure me and help me until
Yeah.
the day I opened me up and I said, okay, let's open this box and see how much rubbish has been sitting there from the minute I was born. And what do I want to do? Carry this rubbish all over in every relationship.
Holy cow. Yeah.
Until I learned about Byron Katie. And definitely it was a very different way of healing when I read the chapter Love in the book of Ultimate Coach, Amy
Mm.
Robinson wrote. I thought is a chapter written for somebody else at first. I'm not a very good reader. I am a ADHD, so reading for me is not helping me.
Yeah.
Thank God for Audible. But at that time, I was
I
reading.
wonder if I have it. That's how I am.
No, I am 1000%. I mean, I
Yeah.
tested the UCLA, so I know that I am. And I had the book of Byron Katie, and then I have this Ultimate Coach book and this chapter Love. I think I butchered that chapter by like 70 times just reading that because I was not reading it about Steve Hardison. I read it from a woman's writing point of view, which is Amy. And the more Amy, yes, it was about Steve, but I was reading it becoming Amy in that chapter. And then I thought, Katie's writing it the way she's writing it. And I thought, wow,
Mm.
these guys are talking about something that is all going north, and I've gone south and east and west all my life. How do I now get me back then? How do I now make the teachings of Maya Angelou and Wayne Dyer to actually come and take place before I can be a healing source for somebody else.
Yeah.
Which then helped me to learn to say one sentence. I would have never ever said it, would not say it. How dare you? I'd never say I am sorry, I apologize. And the very first thing I did, I walked up to my husband, whom I really hurt very deeply, and he walked out on me. And then when he came back, a few months later, I walked out and said, you know what, this is not going to work for me. I got to get divorced. I have to go. This is not doing me any good. Because I wasn't ready to meet me still.
Yeah.
I'm still busy waiting for him. It's that need. I need him to heal me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there until I opened up this box of rubbish within my heart and soul. And I thought, it's not just rubbish, it stinks. It doesn't need to go through it. It just needs clearance completely, once and for all. And there we are today.
Well, this is a beautiful segue. So we've got the roots established really well.
Correct.
You have to do your inner work. Nobody else can do it for you. No amount of change over there is going to change you in here.
Never.
So you have to come back in here. You've got to have the tools, the people, Byron Katie, Steve Hardison's book, our 12 journeys. These all help with that inner world. But now you go into the outer world, and now you're going to create it differently, and you've never been there before. So we go into the growth journeys of uncertainty and abundance, and there's plenty of men in the world for you. There's plenty of women in the world for us, right? There are plenty of partners out there. And so there's no shortage. And then there's the unknown of, well, if nothing is sure, everything is possible. So I can go create this, but we've never done it before. And then we start meeting our partners, and then we try and control it. So we have a vision of who we want, and we create that vision, the third journey of growth, which is the vision journey. And then it comes to the surrender of how is this going to come about? And I feel like Tommy Boy when he gets the biscuit and he's like, I take that thing and I squeeze it to death, right? And that's what we do with our dreams, and we control them and stifle them, and they fall apart. And then we're not taking care of ourselves. We're not nurturing, and then we're not creating the impact that we want to make. So the six growth and legacy journeys. So when you look at this, you probably had some ideals about who your ideal partner would be, and you had dreams and visions, and they're going to do this and this, and I want to be free. And how did you navigate the unknown and your vision and the abundance of people out there to create what you have today?
A lovely question, and a very big question.
I like big questions.
Yes, you do. Being mixed and being so blessed to choose a lot of money with Byron Katie. And feeling, not just seeing it, feeling the depth of the freedom that I felt from the core of Katie when she was talking about her husband who was sitting there. And then her husband talking about her, and the whole way we all just got gathered with him, and we were just like, wouldn't leave him alone. And we just said this and that and that. And seeing the freedom in her for doing the work in her. And watching Amy Hardison. I always make this very funny joke. They always say, man is the head of the house. And I said, yes, but the woman is the neck, and the head cannot survive without the neck. But seeing the teachings of Katie in the most raw way on how Amy is, it was when I figured I've been doing it all wrong. No man out there is there to be my healer. No one out there can cure me, but my own footsteps. By changing the direction of, instead of the blame, I think the sun is on my face down here. Instead of blaming and actually taking responsibility and taking action on how much longer I want to be that victim and be the mother. Look what they've done to me.
Oh, I just had a realization. Blaming and judging and being the victim are the greatest or biggest addictions we have as human beings. Like, they feel so good because you don't have to do anything. It gets you off the hook.
Yeah.
You don't face anything.
It's when, I think it was Wayne Dyer was teaching this, when we're constantly listening to this and not making this connection of these two, we are feeding ego. And ego, how does that spell? EGO is edging God out.
Ooh.
And when you edge God, universe, whatever you feel like calling it, when you edge that out, you're edging yourself out on a continuous basis. Was that a right English, what I just said?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was great English.
So it's just that, where then do I want to find my godliness? My greatness and my resurrection because of all that I went through in life, and say, hey, let's lift you up. Let's love you. Let's embrace you, and let's drop the alcohols and the drugs and the gambling and the sex extra that is not good for you, and whatever, overeating. Oh my gosh, why churches are packed by heavy people? They will point a finger. Mosques, church, synagogue, doesn't matter. Temples. If somebody walks in and says, I'm a drug addict and I want to sit next to you, they don't like it, they wouldn't let them. But somebody is for size 400 pounds, is okay. Why? That's another way of addiction. Are we realizing? Do we know you are addicted, and do you want to heal yourself? Addiction is an addiction, is an addiction. End of the story.
That's excellent right there. The awakening to that, the addiction to whatever it is, including blame, including judgment, including victimness. Those are things that I think are as equal when it comes to addiction, because they keep you from really sitting with and healing what needs to be healed.
Correct. And I like what Richard just put in, because Katie was saying ego is edging greatness out. Yes. Put any word that you want in it. Whatever suits your heart, that's what you're doing by letting ego in.
Yeah.
Now,
how did you navigate? So the surrender part, right? You have your ideal and your vision of your ideal partner. And and then you meet your husband, your current husband. Was he exactly your ideal partner? Were there
none
things
whatsoever.
that you guys
none whatsoever.
Did you have differences you had to navigate, different belief systems, different ways of being, different, how did you do that? And
men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We are, to this day, we are so different from each other. My husband is so serene. He is so loving. He's so gentle. And I said, how are you a sheriff? How did you survive 30 years being a sheriff? You should be a priest. You should be a doctor. He's so He's such a gentle soul, but he's incredibly powerful and strong, you know. And there's I. We were so different, unbelievably different. Looking, I would have not chosen my husband. Nothing, we were the same. And the beauty of it is when I ended up learning what a gift is in my hand, and that gift is called Joseph Gonzaque, Greg Gonzaque, his name is like you want to buy this gorgeous, beautiful rock size of diamond, and you say, oh, but it's so big. Oh my God, it doesn't fit. You don't just get to say, oh no, I'll make it size my hand. I'll pay any price to fit it. That's what I did with him. He is the rock of my world.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. No lie. It's a daily basis work. It's not that it finishes now. It's perfect. Okay, now I'm going to be my own good old self. No. To the last breath we take, the work needs to continue.
Yeah.
Or you get bored of each other.
Yeah.
Do you want to be bored of your partner? No.
I don't want to be bored of Andy.
No.
She doesn't keep me bored, that's for sure.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Keep you on your toes.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that?
That is our job, isn't it, as women? I'm kidding.
I'm just so grateful that he's my rock, and he's very solid. And I am very grateful that I witness him always just doing his work, just not doing his work. We're all doing work, right? But it's very reflective and very intentional in what he does, and he expresses it, and he lets me know, and it makes me tear up, but he's beautiful.
But look how much work he's done. Look how much work he's been doing and how much work you've been doing on you. So today you can say, I'm sure he's not the only relationship you've had in your life before, right? And you can now acknowledge his working on himself, again, on daily basis. I always say, you don't take a shower once a week, once a month. You shower every day, or sometimes shower twice a day.
Right.
It's that consistency that creates the magic.
Yeah. I got to speak to this too, because I am doing my work, but I'm with a partner who holds space for me to do that work, which is incredible to me. I remember that if I would get in my emotions on a previous relationship, there was no room for that. You can't. How come you're feeling that again? It was like, go to your room until you're done crying, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like growing up. And the beautiful space that I have with Andy is that my emotions come up, my thoughts and my wounds show up big time. And she holds room for that. What she doesn't hold room for is me putting it on her like it's hers, which I appreciate. But she holds room for me to do my work. Mm-hmm. And that's been incredible to be able to sit with what I go through and really look at and take back in me the control over healing that, right? Because in the past, I think I would try and get them to do everything. I want my partner to do everything so I can feel comfortable over here. Don't trigger me. Don't say things. Don't do things. That never worked.
No. Well, that's your work. That's the work that you've been doing. And that is the art of not just creating a relationship between you guys. The art is how to get the relationship constantly going upwards by creating that space. Lots of times, people, after they've been together for a while, they get too comfortable. And it's just, I'll lean back and I say, okay, well, you know what I mean. Oh, no, I don't.
You know what you know my
favor
thought.
and
You know.
don't get too
Yeah.
comfortable.
Mm.
This is the work. This is that daily shower that you have to do the work. So I don't have to believe, oh yeah, oh, he means this. No, no. Do your work. You have a child, you take it to school, you say, well, you know where your home is, walk home. No, you don't, pick him up, right?
Wait, that was my childhood.
Mine too, by the way.
Yeah.
Mine too. I never
Yeah.
forget how far the school was and
Yeah.
how dangerous the road that we were coming from. We wanted to make it short, so we would come from, my younger sister and I, we would hold hand each other. And these guys, they were running away from, I don't know, home or somebody, and they were in those back streets, and they were gambling, and they were playing with each other, and there's two little girls are running, and we were breathless,
Mm.
but we would have to do it ourselves. And I am grateful because I'm strong today.
Yeah. See that right there. No matter what's happened, Andy wouldn't be who she is today without her history. I wouldn't be who I am without my history. We wouldn't be who we are right now without each other as part of our history. And it's not like we're done evolving. It's just simply everything that's happened in our lives has led to this point right here. And that's not a final pit stop. It's like I look at our relationship and I think, who do I want to be for Andy? And not that I have to be worthy enough or change my dreams and visions or, let go of the desires of my heart so that she'll approve of me and I'll be okay. It's simply, how do I want to show up as a partner for her so that she can show up fully as herself? I mean, I won't go into details, Andy, but we had a conversation the other day and there was a lot of concern over change. Like, if we get in a relationship, does that mean I have to give up this, and this? And man, it seems like a lot of times on paper, as soon as people get that certificate from the state saying, hey, you're authorized to get married now we'll recognize, thank you, state, for all you do for us, that we change our way of thinking. And now we're all restrictive and we got different personalities that show up. I don't want to be that for her. Right? Because she is who she is. Now I get to learn how to dance with that. Right?
Yes. But do you want to be that for yourself even?
Yeah, that's the big question we have to ask, right?
Yes. When a person says, oh, I want to do this and that for her, or I want to do this and I don't want to be that. I say, but do you want to be that for yourself?
Yeah.
It's your relationship to yourself first.
Why are you doing it for you
in
a relationship, right?
Yeah. And that's why, like, when they ask me, what do you do? I said, I'm a relationship coach to self and others.
I like that.
You have to learn about the way you want to love yourself and the same very way you choose that way to love your partner or your children or your co-worker or whatever else, but it starts from self. The way you're creating this space between you and Andy, that should be the way that it first serves Nick. And then when Nick is comfortable in loving space of his own, then he wants to share that with his partner as well. Hey, I've created this magic. Get in. Let's have fun. Correct? Isn't that how it
We'll
works?
drop the top. Let's go. It's gonna be fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're at it went way too fast. These shows go fast. This has been amazing.
Exactly.
So is there anything that you want to share that you feel impressed to share? Just anything that you feel the nudge for our viewers? There are people right now that are live watching this. So
oh wow. I should have prepared myself. No, but life is all about the choices we make. One big, huge choice of life. If you have taken the rejection of the past the very bad upbringing of the past, to continue your life based on that, I invite you to look inside and find the gift in there. There is a big diamond. There is a massive diamond. Whether you were raped as a kid, you were beaten up like God knows how, like I was many, 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 many times, whatever your life was, instead of looking back and say, look at me, poor me, look what they've done to me, life is all about the choices you make. Choose to find the diamond in there. Life is so much nicer when you dig in for gold and diamond than when you're digging for crap. I guess I'm at the age.
I mean, different types of miners, right?
That's right.
Yeah. That's funny. Andy, final thoughts from you?
I just want to say, Fari, you are a beautiful human. Beautiful human. And this has been just a wonderful visit with you and learning about you, and your light just shines. And thank you.
Thank you so much for seeing your own light in me, sweetheart. You're shining brightly, and you see that in me, both of you. And I'll thank you. Let's keep on going.
Look at us. Now we're like messes here.
All three of us, but messes is nice.
Thank you.
Because we know that we have a light that shines. And let's go out there and save and help.
Yeah. Let's lock arms. Let's do that, because this is what the world needs. You know, there's so much negativity, and we're not bringing that. That's not what we're bringing.
We're bringing our diamonds.
We're bringing our diamonds.
Let's dig in and be diamond diggers.
Diamond diggers. Yeah. No more gold digging. We're diamond digging. For everybody that's watching, make sure that you go and check out Fari's website, faritransformation.com. You can learn all about her beautiful website, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. So yeah, there's a lot in there. You can scroll through and just see the different things she's offering. She is the real deal. So go get to know her. Before you go, make sure you go to my12journeys.com and hit that scroll. Just scroll through. There's so much stuff in here for you, and we're going to continue to add more. But the big thing is you can see all of our latest episodes right here. And look at that beautiful person right there.
Thank you so much.
And be sure to click on the free AI. It's not AI, it's the I am. I'm so used to AI. And AI did help me create this, but it's the I am framework. And it stands for Ascend, Awaken, and Manage. And so it allows you to allow your emotions to come up, to awaken to them and be with them, and then learn tools to manage those. It's a powerful tool. It's free to you. When you go in, there's just pages and pages of useful information. And so go grab that today. It's on my12journeys.com. Let me just see. I don't think there's anything else, just as a final thought, Fari. I look at the work that I get to do. I develop AI tools to help me because frankly, the stuff that I go through, it's personal, it's vulnerable. And so I sit with my AI tools and I do my work there because I can share openly and very rawly what's going on in my world. And I've created these in such a way that they coach me back. I created a tool for the I am framework. I've got another tool called the Love Creed, which is a creed I created of, if I don't do my work here, I'm going to have to do it somewhere. And so if I'm triggered or I'm feeling emotions that are beyond normal, I go into that tool, and then I don't have to throw that on my partner. I go into that tool and I do my work right there. And
what's wrong by being real?
Yeah. It's like, it's heard everything. Like, you want to talk about the Emperor's New Clothes. That's how I feel when I go in there. Completely naked and stripped down. So I don't do it while I'm naked. Let's be clear.
Oh my goodness. Thank God for that.
Yeah. Right. Poor thing would have like burns in its eyeballs, that AI. But the work, whether you're doing it, with an AI application or the 12 journeys or Fari in your work, go start doing your work. You want to show up powerfully in relationship, start here. And then you're going to attract partners that relate to that. You're going to start being able to hold space for a partner that is what you have in mind. And Andy and I do work every day. It's a realignment every day.
Sharing,
and I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes it's raw, right?
It's the best thing to be.
Yeah.
I like that it's a safe space. We have a safe space for each other.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's exactly like with my Greg and I, where we feel at home when we're with each other anywhere.
Yeah, beautiful.
So complete and great because we have so much love for ourselves.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, it's only ourselves.
Well, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you for having me. That was really
You're
lovely.
very welcome. For those that are watching, go subscribe on YouTube to our channel, Wake Up with Giants TV. Come join the community on Facebook, the Tribe of Giants. We love you. Thanks for doing all you do. Your comments make this show what it is. If you know somebody that could use this message today, send them a link to this video with a message of why they should watch it. And as always, we're grateful for you. Go make it a giant day, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you.